Good morning, Flagler County, and welcome to Veterans on Point, a WNCF radio show developed in mind for our county's beloved and respected veterans population and anyone else listening via internet or podcast. I'm your host, David Lyden, the Flagler County Veterans Services Officer, and I'm still not here with my friend and colleague at the office, Eric Flores, who is out for one more show while he's on vacation. He's actually coming back tomorrow, and he'll be back with us next week on the program. And so Eric and I are your Flagler County Veterans Services Officers, and we can be found at 1769 East Moody Boulevard in Bunnell to help veterans and their families with VA business, as claims and other VA business, and much more. We can help if a veteran or family member needs to establish their VA.gov account. You know, you need a login.gov or an ID.me account to get into your VA.gov accounts. Those can also be used for Social Security and other government accounts as well. We can help with that. It is, we understand it is kind of a bear to get through, and we will do our best to help you through that. So find us, give us a call, 386-313-4014 to make your appointment. Appointments are encouraged and appreciated. Gives us a chance to direct our attention strictly to your issue and help you with it. It's kind of hard when you have walk-ins and you're working with somebody, or just because we don't have somebody in our chair doesn't mean we're not working on veterans' claims or other issues. We get a little off track if we get a lot of walk-ins. So we encourage the appointments as much as possible. If you're a newbie, you just show up at the office. We understand. But if you're somebody who's been to our office before, you kind of know the drill. So call us at 386-313-4014. As you know, you see Jeff is in the house again. Jeff Kingdon, our Flagler County Veteran of the Year for another few months.
Good morning, David.
Good morning, Jeff. United States Marine Corps veteran Jeff Kingdon. And Jeff, this week, Billy asked me to find the Star Spangled Banner that's on one of his favorite radio shows, but the host kind of cuts it off, interrupts it with his voice. So I think I found the right Star Spangled Banner. It'll be at the end of our program. And Billy Jones, our king, or I was going to say king of loyal listeners. He's the leader of the loyal listeners. And so, Billy, give it a listen. Let me know if that's the one that you like and you've heard on other programs. So it's one of the traditional versions.
Morning, Billy.
And yeah, to mention our League of Loyal Listeners, and the leader is, of course, Billy Jones. Just mentioned Billy's, and I know James the Mail Maid is vying for a position as one of the top League of Loyal Listeners. He says he never misses a show. So James, thank you for touching base and letting us know that. But we got Navy Master Chief Dan and his wife Kay. Have you run into Master Chief up there at San Cyr?
Not in a couple of weeks.
Not in a couple of weeks? Okay.
But good morning, Dan.
And their anniversary is coming up soon, their wedding anniversary. Then of course, Jeff is here, and Talkin' Tom. Haven't heard from Talkin' Tom in a couple of weeks. Saw Charlie yesterday, actually. Charlie stopped through the office. That's Charlie Hanger. And his wife, Jenny, listens, so thank you, folks. And then we've got Valerie and Dennis and Sharon and Shane and Norman and Howard and his wife, Valerie, and William and his wife, Holly, and Keith. And we got some Jameses, and we got Jim Howard and Stephen and another James and David and Mrs. Martin. And we got Frankie, the dad, and Frankie Jr. And Frankie Jr., guess what? You inspired Frankie Jr., Jeff. He asked his dad what he could do to honor veterans, because you do all the plaques and you honor veterans in your own way. And Frankie Jr. Wanted to do something as well. So they purchased about 100 coins that thank veterans.
Oh, nice.
And Frank Sr. dropped them off and asked me if I would hand them out to veterans as they come in the office. But I suggested that Frankie Jr. come out on Veterans Day and he can hand them out, some of them himself. So we hope to see Frankie Jr. there. Of course, the parade's that day. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Who else we got here? We got Frank, Bicycle Frank, and Delmer, and Michael, and the Gallaghers, and Bill, and Leon, and Rudolph, and Thomas, and Mr. Holt, and so many more. And some of the folks are noticing that our list is long and afraid that it's going to get too long, that it'll take up the whole show. So we want to appreciate everybody who listens, but we won't let it take up the whole show. Massage by Natalie and Company. So we know one of our local veterans went there recently, and they were very happy with it. Very happy with the massage. It was his first time ever going to a massage, and his chiropractor recommended it. And that veteran seems to be walking around pretty spry now. So I guess it worked. So that's Massage by Natalie and Company at 386-227-7499 is their phone number. Located at 4871 Palm Coast Parkway Northwest, Suite 1 in Palm Coast. Massage by Natalie and Company. Those listeners know that we like to talk about history on this program, and for the last 20-some weeks, we've been talking about our presidents and highlighting a president of the week. This week is no exception, and this week is the 26th president of the United States. That's Theodore Roosevelt. He was a larger-than-life figure whose legacy is woven with fascinating lesser-known facts that reveal the depth of his character. Born on October 27, 1858 in New York City, Roosevelt overcame a frail asthmatic childhood through sheer determination, embracing what he called the strenuous life. This philosophy shaped his multifaceted career as a statesman, soldier, conservationist, and adventurer. But it's the obscure details of his life that add color to his story. One little-known fact is that Roosevelt was an avid taxidermist from a young age. As a boy, he founded the Roosevelt Museum of Natural History in his bedroom, filling it with specimens he preserved himself, including mice and birds. His passion for natural history persisted, leading him to become a pioneering conservationist. As president, he protected 230 million acres of public land, establishing 150 national forests, 51 federal bird reserves, and 5 national parks, a feat unmatched by any predecessor. Roosevelt's intellectual curiosity was equally remarkable. He was a voracious reader, reportedly devouring a book a day, even during his presidency. His home, Sagamore Hill, housed a library of over 6,000 volumes spanning topics from history to poetry. Less known is his authorship of 38 books, including detailed works on naval history and wildlife, showcasing a mind as disciplined as it was eclectic. His adventurous spirit led to quirky episodes, like his near-fatal Amazon expedition in 1914. After his presidency, Roosevelt explored Brazil's uncharted River of Doubt, later renamed Rio Roosevelt in his honor. Battling fever, a leg wound, and near starvation, he nearly died but insisted on pushing forward, embodying his mantra, "No man has any business to go where he has not the vitality to resist the forces of nature." Roosevelt's eccentricities extended to his White House tenure. He kept a menagerie of pets, including a bear named Jonathan Edwards and a one-legged rooster. His children's antics, like roller skating through the East Room or bringing a pony into the White House elevator, reflected his playful side. Yet he was also the first president to invite an African-American, Booker T. Washington, to dine at the White House, a bold move that sparked controversy in 1901. A lesser-known tragedy was the loss of his youngest son, Quentin, a pilot shot down in World War I. Roosevelt's stoic grief underscored his complex blend of toughness and tenderness. His life, marked by relentless energy and obscure passions, remains a testament to the living boldly, leaving an indelible mark on America's history. Quote of the week from Theodore Roosevelt. "It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who strives, who dares greatly, who perseveres, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. President Theodore Roosevelt, 26th President of the United States. Did you learn anything today, Jeff?
Of course, Dave. Learn something every week.
You know, I think I remember about his son dying in World War II, or I mean World War I. But and some of these things I kind of tacitly knew about, not the number of acres or the number of preserves and stuff like that, but I knew he was very instrumental in the national park system. But yeah, we have some great, interesting presidents.
Yeah, for sure. Good history, David.
Thank you. And so that comes to the time of the program where I say, drivers, drivers, drivers. The DAV is seeking drivers, volunteer drivers, to take veterans from their homes to their VA appointments. Those VA appointments can be at a VA medical center, at a VA clinic, a community care network appointment, or a VA compensation and pension exam that's in conjunction with a VA disability claim. You do not have to use your own vehicle. The DAV has VA vehicles for that purpose. In fact, I was informed yesterday that the local DAV will be purchasing a new one, and to add to their fleet. I think that'll give them 4 vehicles. So if you would like to be a volunteer, please give the DAV a call. That's DAV Chapter 86 at 386-439-2122. 386-439-2122. And speaking of the DAV Chapter 86, Jeff, you won an award recently from the state? From the state, DAV, Disabled American Veterans from the state, for being for all the great activities you do as a veteran.
Yeah,
and they recognized you. So congratulations, Jeff.
Thank you very much.
Well deserved again.
Thank you.
So Jeff works hard at just thanking veterans. So, I see a lot of. CBS has a guy that travels the country and does stories, like on interesting people around the country. And, the theme of a lot of his stories is people that have purpose. They found a purpose, and that's what drives the story, is that they're helping others, they're serving the community, whatever it is. And so I can't stress enough how important that is for people to have a purpose.
I agree with you. It's very, very important to have a purpose.
Uh-huh.
Very good.
And that's the theme of almost all his stories around the country when he profiles somebody, is that they have something they're doing, whether they're serving the community or serving others. And so if you want to have longevity in this life with some health and, find a purpose.
Do something for somebody else.
That's right. What do you have on your list of stuff, Jeff?
Well, I have a couple things, David. One thing is, can I talk a little bit about Marine Corps history real quick?
Sure.
The first woman to join the United States Marine Corps was Olfa Mae Johnson. She enlisted in the Marine Corps Reserve August 13th, 1918. She was the first of 305 women to join the Marine Corps during World War I. She served in clerical roles for combat duty, according to the Marine Corps. Now, the reason she joined is because apparently there was a fair amount of information going around asking women to join to free up a Marine to fight. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of World War I, the Marine Corps discharged her and didn't invite women back in until World War II.
Uh-huh.
But I thought that was very interesting.
She served her country.
Yeah. And another thing, Dave, I'd like to repeat something Charlie Hayes said on your show 3 weeks ago. The first United States Marine Corps amphibious assault was in March of 1776. So, and they invaded Nassau, Bahamas. There were 2 forts that they invaded, and the reason they invaded the forts was to get ammunition and weapons so that George Washington could use them against the British. And I think that's very important information because most people think of the Marine Corps as amphibious assaults in World War II. Well, this goes back to 1776.
That's their first.
Very good.
Everybody remembers their first.
And one other thing, real quick, there's the Marine Corps Ball coming up November 8th, 2025. Now, the Marine Corps birthday is actually November 10th, and it's going to be the 250th birthday of the Marine Corps. And we're having a ball at the Hilton Garden Inn in Palm Coast Town Center. And if you're interested, get a hold of Ellen Werner at 386-237-9798. So everybody is welcome. Everybody, veteran or not veteran, is welcome.
That's a big one for the Marine Corps.
It is. It's a very big one.
The big 250, right?
Yep. And it's $55 a person. And there are several dinners to choose from. One is broiled salmon. Another is chicken marsala. And then there's pork ribeye. Now, if there's a cash bar, so if you want to have a drink, there's a cash bar.
Okay.
So everybody's welcome. Just give Ellen a call.
Very good. Let me get to a couple of things here. The VFW commander, Chip Helms, stopped in the office this week and would like me to let our listeners know that they will be having a country night at the Post. That's Post 8696 at 47 Old Kings Road North. And it is a dinner. They also have a cash bar. Their menu is a country dinner buffet of baked chicken, country fried steak, mashed potatoes, vegetables, salad, and dinner rolls. It's featuring entertainment by Bill Kastner and Karen Callan, the good old country music. The date is September 12th, 2025. Doors open at 5:30. Dinner 6 to 7, with dance and show starting at 7. There are door prizes. The donation is $30 per person. There will be 50-50 going on. And so all profits will help support the building fund at the VFW Post 8696. He would also like me to let our listeners know that the VFW will be having a poppy drive and a membership drive. That's going to be 23 August 23rd, from 6 in the morning, 6 a.m. to noon. And that'll be at both Dunkin' Donuts locations in Palm Coast. I think there's, he must mean the northern part, where there's one on Old Kings Road and one on Palm Coast Parkway, because there's another Dunkin' Donuts down on 100.
Yeah.
Excuse me. He didn't mention that one, but it's probably the location on Old Kings Road and the one on Palm Coast Parkway. Right?
They're the closest ones to the facility, the
right.
VFW
so
facility.
that would probably make sense. So that's for our VFW. So, Chip, I got that in there, if you're listening. And then I had Gary Owens from American Legion Post 115 swung through this week. And so we're going to remind everybody about their 5th annual charity golf tournament, which is October 4th this year. And it starts registration at 7 o'clock. They'll also have 50-50 game, continental breakfast, shotgun start at 9 o'clock, lunch catered by Loopers at 1 p.m. It's $125 per golfer with 18 holes of golf, free hot dogs at turn, awards luncheon, player prizes. And so you can get registered now by going to flaglerbpost115.org. That's O-R-G. Or call or text 386-585-5302. That's 386-585-5302. That's the American Legion's fundraiser on October 4th, 2025 at the Palm Harbor Golf Club. What else you got over there? You've got another veteran that you are going to recognize, and you got a beautiful plaque that you made for him.
Yeah, this is
just got to turn it up the other side around.
Oops, sorry. This is a plaque for a Tuskegee airman. And he's 109 years old, and he's going to be 110 in December.
Wow.
Which I find absolutely amazing. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. But I like to recognize World War II veterans. And I have something that I read to every World War II veteran that I recognize. And it goes, "Good morning. I'm presenting this wooden plaque to recognize you for what you and your generation did for the world, for America, and for us as individuals. You served our country during a time in this world when there was anger, arrogance, bigotry, and a lust for power. And it ended the other human qualities, such as courage, perseverance, selflessness, faith, leadership, and the hunger for freedom. The Second World War brought out the best and the worst in a generation. You, as a World War II veteran, very bravely contributed to the best of the generation. That was the winning of World War II. Thank you. You World War II veterans and your generation helped mold our country into a strong and prosperous nation for which we as Americans can be proud. I was born in the mid-40s and truly believe I grew up in the best time in America. Thank you. My dad served in the U.S. Army in World War II, and he served in New Guinea. I grew up in a household where part of becoming a man was serving your country. I joined the U.S. Marines and served in Vietnam, Semper Fi Marine. I have a CNC, computer numerical control system, where I design and carve the plaques, then hand paint and apply finish to the wooden plaques. I have donated many plaques to veterans and veteran organizations. My favorite project is the World War II veterans. It's my pleasure and honor to recognize you for what you have done for our country. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. And that's an example of the thousands and thousands of plaques that you've given out over the years. So
yes, thank you.
Tremendous. There it is on YouTube.
Thank you for letting me, Dave, do that.
Of course. So as we before we go, I want to remind our folks that the nominations are open for the Flagler County Veteran of the Year. And so they opened up 1st of August. They go through the end of September, the 30th. I've got there's a whole sheet here on what what the criteria is and what you need to submit. I'm not going to read it all here on the air, but if you want a copy, give me a call, 386-313-4042, or email me at dlydon@flaglercounty.gov, and I'll email you a copy, because we'd like to get as many nominations as possible. Okay, it could be a neighbor, a friend, a loved one, anybody who's a veteran that you care about, coworker. But there is criteria, so they must be a resident of Flagler County, must be a living veteran of one of the 6 armed forces, including the Reserve or Guard, must have demonstrated outstanding patriotism, leadership, selfless service as a veteran, and as a volunteer in community or civic service, and may be awarded for a single act or for continuous service, may not be a previous recipient of the Flagler County Veteran of the Year Award. And then there's other criteria as well. But you can get all that if you email me or give me a call. And I also like to remind everybody that to register on the flaglerveteransdayparade.com if you would like to participate in this year's Veterans Day Parade, which, of course, is November 11th. That's a Tuesday this year. So there'll be a parade that goes from the Coquina building area in Bunnell up to the Government Services Building. And then after the parade, there will be a Veterans Day ceremony. And we'll have some food after that for our participants. And so please look forward to participating, joining in the parade. Go to flaglerveteransdayparade.com to take part.
The parade is always well attended, David, both with participants and people lining the street. it always goes over very well.
Everybody loves a parade.
Yeah.
So we are down under the 2-minute warning. So that's comes the time where I need to say that no country, no state, and no community does more for veterans than the United States of America, the great and free state of Florida, the wonderful Flagler County, the lovely city of Palm Coast, all of our beautiful beach cities here. And then I got to remind you to be a victor, not a victim, to be indoctrinated. I'm sorry, to be educated, not indoctrinated. And most importantly, be kind to someone today, or many someones. And we're happy that you joined us and hope that you got some good information about our local service organizations. Got a little bit more history about our presidents. This week was Theodore Roosevelt. And you got a little bit of inspiration about helping others, having a purpose. And any final thoughts from you, Jeff?
No, you use the term have a purpose, and I think it's very important for people to listen to that and develop a purpose. I think it's very healthy for your life.
Yeah, because if you're sitting home watching Price is Right, feeling, lonely, sad, wondering what life is all about anymore, that's why you got to find a purpose. Go out and meet people, join an organization. If you're a veteran, stop into the DAV, stop into the VFW, contact the members of the American Legion, get involved, and soon. Oh, I'll tell you one thing: if there is a person out there who would like to help a veteran who is down on his luck, but doesn't have a driver's license, but wants to do odd jobs and does pick up odd jobs from folks, but can't get there because he can't drive anymore. If you are a veteran who just wants somebody to talk to, you want to be busy for the day or whatever it is, just get out of the house. Give me a call, 386-313-4014. I'll put you in touch with a veteran. And if you got time, drive him to the job site. Let him do his work. You don't have to lift a finger, get sweaty. He'll do all that. He just wants to earn some money to help sustain him and his partner. So, again, 386-313-4014. Thank you. And we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here, Jeff.
You're welcome, David. Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks for having me.